Ethan Marshall had always felt disconnected from his family, particularly his eccentric and reclusive grandfather, Arthur. Living in Camden Town, London, Arthur had been the subject of family rumours, an enigmatic figure who had retreated from the world, content to live out his days in isolation. When Arthur passed away, he left Ethan only a single item, an old pocket watch, heavy and ornate, its surface etched with strange symbols. The bequest was puzzling, considering that Ethan had hardly known his grandfather. Still, out of curiosity, Ethan kept the watch, unaware that it would soon alter his life. One evening, after a particularly mundane day at work, Ethan sat alone in his flat, idly winding the watch. As he did, something inexplicable happened. The world around him froze, completely and utterly still. The traffic outside his window stopped mid-motion, and the ticking of his wall clock ceased. Confused and disoriented, Ethan ventured outside to find that time itself had stopped. Everything was suspended, as though the world had taken a breath and forgotten to exhale. The effect lasted for only a minute, after which time resumed as if nothing had happened. Shaken but intrigued, Ethan experimented with the watch over the following days, discovering that it granted him the ability to stop time for exactly 60 seconds each day. As he explored the limits of this power, he unearthed an old journal among his grandfather's belongings. The journal, worn and filled with cryptic notes, detailed Arthur's own encounters with the watch. It spoke of others who could manipulate time, individuals called the Manipulators, and the secretive, dangerous lives they led. The journal hinted at a clandestine war fought in the moments between seconds, where decisions made in frozen time rippled through history. More unsettling, however, was Arthur's warning. Ethan's life quickly spiraled into a new, disorienting reality. Books shifted position without him touching them, and he noticed small but unexplainable changes in his environment. It was clear that someone else was manipulating time around him. With a growing sense of unease, Ethan decided to follow a lead from his grandfather's journal, one that mentioned New York City as a hub for time-manipulating activity. Upon arriving in New York, Ethan was struck by the city's relentless pace. It was a stark contrast to the eerie stillness he experienced in his minute of stop time each day. The journal led him to a hidden bar in Greenwich Village, a secret meeting place for others like him. There he met Marcus, a seasoned manipulator who had been wielding the power of time for decades. Marcus explained that Ethan had barely scratched the surface of what was truly happening. A vast network of manipulators existed, operating behind the scenes to shape world events in subtle but profound ways. Some sought to maintain the natural order, while others, like a powerful woman named Reina Nakamura, manipulated time for personal gain, influencing elections, shifting markets, and rewriting history itself. Ethan's introduction to this secret world was both thrilling and terrifying. He learned that Reina and her faction of manipulators had no qualms about bending time to their will, and their power was growing. Marcus warned Ethan that Reina's plans extended far beyond mere financial gain. She was on the verge of something far more dangerous. As Ethan left New York, his mind raced with the implications of what he had learned. The stakes were higher than he had ever imagined. If Reina succeeded, she could rewrite the fabric of time, reshaping reality as she saw fit. Ethan's next destination was Tokyo, a city where Reina Nakamura held considerable influence. According to Marcus, Tokyo had been shaped by Reina's manipulation for years. Ethan arrived in the bustling metropolis where the sheer density of people and information made his minute of frozen time seem almost insignificant. Every day, Ethan spent his 60 seconds at Shibuya Crossing, one of the busiest intersections in the world, trying to track down Reina's movements. As he investigated further, Ethan discovered that Reina's ambitions were global. She intended to trigger a catastrophic market crash in Tokyo, the effects of which would ripple through the world economy, consolidating power in her hands. But Ethan quickly realized he was outmatched. Reina had honed her abilities over decades, and her knowledge of time manipulation far surpassed his own. In a tense confrontation on the streets of Tokyo, Ethan barely escaped with his life, but he gained valuable insight. Reina's plans were far more far-reaching than he had previously understood. She wasn't just altering events, she was preparing to change the course of history itself. With this revelation, Ethan followed the next clue from his grandfather's journal to Cairo, Egypt. There, among the ancient pyramids and bustling markets, he met Amina, a brilliant archaeologist who had spent her life studying artifacts tied to time and history. Amina revealed that Ethan's watch wasn't the only relic capable of manipulating time. Similar artifacts had existed for centuries, wielded by different factions of manipulators who had shaped the course of human history. The pyramids and tombs, she explained, were markers left by those who had tampered with time long before the modern era. Together, Ethan and Amina searched for an artifact mentioned in Arthur's journal, said to be hidden deep in the Sahara Desert. This artifact, they believed, held the key to understanding how to stop Reina. But Reina's followers were already in Cairo, hunting the same prize. In a dramatic chase through the streets of Cairo and into the vast desert, Ethan and Amina were ambushed. Amina was captured by Reina's mercenaries, leaving Ethan with a heartbreaking choice: continue searching for the artifact or attempt to rescue Amina. Before being taken, Amina warned him of Reina's ultimate plan. She intends to reset history itself. Ethan's journey culminated in Paris, where the final battle for control of time would take place. Paris was the last piece of the puzzle, a city of art and history that had stood the test of centuries. Yet beneath its surface, something darker was brewing. Reina had gathered her most powerful manipulators for a final ritual in the catacombs beneath the city. Her goal was to reset time itself, undoing decades of history and reshaping the world according to her vision. As Ethan descended into the catacombs, he realized that this wasn't just about stopping Reina. The fate of time itself was at stake. With Marcus and other allies he had gathered along the way, Ethan prepared for the final confrontation. The catacombs, filled with the bones of history, became the setting for a war that had been fought in secret for generations. Reina's power was immense, but Ethan had one advantage. His grandfather's journal had hinted at a way to turn the watch's power against itself. As Ethan descended into the catacombs, he realized that this wasn't just about stopping Reina. The fate of time itself was at stake. With Marcus and other allies he had gathered along the way, Ethan prepared for the final confrontation. The catacombs, filled with the bones of history, became the setting for a war that had been fought in secret for generations. Reina's power was immense, but Ethan had one advantage. His grandfather's journal had hinted at a way to turn the watch's power against itself. In the final moments of the battle, Ethan made a choice. He used his 60 seconds of frozen time to alter the course of events in a way that would forever change the future. What exactly he changed, however, remained a mystery, even to him. As the dust settled and the world resumed its normal pace, Ethan knew that time itself had been altered. In the final moments of the battle, Ethan made a choice. He used his 60 seconds of frozen time to alter the course of events in a way that would forever change the future. What exactly he changed, however, remained a mystery, even to him. The battle for control of time was over, for now. But the echoes of Ethan's final decision would ripple through the fabric of reality, leaving an uncertain future. Time, it seemed, was never truly under anyone's control.